play without giving away the helicopter chase at the end?
This play was originally set in 1598 to 1599, and the way that women were treated back then was thankfully very different to how they are hopefully being treated now. So a woman in her family, her father's word would be law. She'd have to take his word for it and do whatever he said. Otherwise, she would be ousted by the whole of the community.
Well, when you go back to the 1590s and you take Much Ado About Nothing and you transpose it into this current age, there are certain things which transcend time, and that is the way that we still experience shame in this world. And there is this massive meltdown in play where Faye is accused of something, and as in the original Much Ado About Nothing, Hero is accused as well.
Is it true? Answer me, please. Is what you are accused of true?
And she not only feels the crushing shame, but her father does as well.
Oh, you have fallen into a pit of ink, and all the wide, wide ocean has too few drops to wash you clean again.
Back in the time of Much Ado About Nothing, Hero would have been shut away forever. That would have been her life over with. Fortunately, she is proved innocent. In this play, we take that same emotional feeling where she is shamed and her father is absolutely furious with her. And we see in this play, in this modern era, how Faye, when she comes out the other side, reacts.
When I was adapting stroke writing alongside Mr. Shakespeare, this particular show, I was very interested in exploring the relationship between Leonardo in the original and Hero, because as a woman I've always had a bit of a struggle with what happens to Hero and the way that her father turns on her and just automatically assumes that what is being said about her is true. And I really wanted to take that into a modern setting and see what would happen nowadays.
With the sort of heightened focus on the politics of gender and kind of power roles and things like that, you know, there's a lot that the contrast of this modern adaptation and Shakespeare's original has to say about that, which is I think makes it, as well as being incredibly good fun and very thematic, you know, makes it actually sort of quite a vital and relevant piece of theatre.
And I found it so interesting that a similar thing takes place, that because of our DNA in a way, because of the way that we are almost programmed to think, you will find that 400 years later, with the presence of shame and judgment and the expectation that we all imagine people have of us, and the feeling that they're all thinking about us in a certain way when maybe they're not thinking of us at all, it's still so relevant. I mean, you could take it. It could be a woman with a man. It could go the other way. But in this, it's a man with his daughter, a modern man with a modern daughter, and they still have that challenge between them where he feels that she has shamed him and she has shamed the family, and he has that very strong sense that he wants nothing to do with her ever again because of that.
So in this production, I get to play Leon, who is based on Leonardo, Hero's father in the original, and in our version he is the father of Faye, who's based on Hero. But in our production, his role is somewhat expanded, so he actually becomes a protagonist. And it's quite a kind of surprising character journey. It does require some sort of emotional extremes, which are quite interesting to access because they come from a place which, at first glance, seems to be rooted more in the world of the 1590s when Shakespeare was writing. And so the interesting thing about this is sort of finding the modern day stimulus that would make a father have a meltdown, finding his daughter shamed, And it's a real kind of interesting, kind of sort of fascinating study in the kind of the tunnel vision that can descend on us when we feel attacked or potentially attacked.
I will never look at you in the same way again. You have ruined yourself forever in my eyes.
A kind of a red mist descends, and this charming, engaging, sort of lovely man suddenly is sort of placed directly into his kind of reptilian brain, and every norm of human relationships kind of goes out of the way.
I think we are asking very pertinent questions in terms of feminism and in terms of changing the experience that we all have in the world. And it is something that's addressed, for example, in A Doll's House, where you have Torvald who turns on Nora. And I do think I've recently thought that there is a degree to which he goes into his hypothalamus, into his reptile brain, as I think James mentioned earlier. That literally you go into a kind of scarcity where you cannot imagine any good progressing from this. And then there is the question of, well, what do you do with that?
So what shall we do? Shall we sit and sing about the awfulness of men? The hey nonny nonny. What else? Will it help? No. I have more faith in laughter, dancing, and a happy song than endless wallowing till you're used to nothing else. Tippy. Faith.
It's really interesting to see how the original play ends compared to how we are having our play